What's up, guys, and welcome back to Planet Zoo. So we are starting a new zoo because the Cheyenne Mountain Rebuild Zoo is presently on hold due to the whole pandemic thing. And what we see here is the start of our new zoo. What I did was I built this car park, and that's where the people will generate, and they will come out the front door. But as you can see here, I went through, I put a top on it, got all the lighting done. There might be some more decorating that I'm going to do to this, but as of right now, I'm just really, I just kind of want to push forward, and then I'll come back and do details to make it mesh with the park better. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to build a ticket booth, and we see the start of this here. I'm going to go ahead and speed all this up, and we'll talk about it at that point in time. Alright, so here you see me. I'm just kind of going through, trying to figure out how exactly I want to do this. So the idea that I originally had was to have like this covered walkway going into the ticket booth, and I'm struggling a little bit here, and I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna build it on the same grid that I build the car park. That way the path lines up exactly how I want it to. I'm not fiddling with the path too much, and all this is figuring out, what do I want windows in? Do I not want windows in? I decide, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and put windows in on one side, and that may change. I don't know, because I'm thinking about putting some kind of exhibit on the right-hand side as if we're looking into the park. But here, I'm deciding that, yeah, I'm going to go ahead, and this is where I'm going to build the ticket booth itself. So the guests will come in, they'll make that left-hand turn, and they'll make another left-hand turn to go to get their tickets and actually enter the zoo. And that square that we're seeing in there, that's all going to be like a big, how do you want to say, pathway. It's going to be like a courtyard. I'm going to deck all that stuff out, just not in this particular video. But what we're seeing now is I'm going ahead and I'm placing, I'm trying to plan out where do I want the guests to come into the park from. And from there, I can go ahead and start building out what it is that I'm going to do. And here I'm thinking, alright, so I'm going to build little ticket booths in between each one of those entrances. And I'm really just trying to figure out how I want to do this. And you'll see shortly that I ended up grabbing one of my other blueprints and looking at how I did that to make what I'm doing here mesh up properly. Here I'm using 2-meter high walls in the front, and I believe I changed that down to 1-meter high walls. Let's see, I think I'm doing it right here actually. No, I thought, well, I could just use the shop fronts and that'll work. And then I'm trying to figure out what kind of glass I want to put in there. I look at opaque. Opaque's obviously not going to work because you want to see the person that you're interacting with. And again, guys, this zoo is all about, it's not necessarily a super realistic zoo. I'm not looking to make it a realistic zoo. I'm just trying to make it a zoo that, if you were to see it in real life, you would want to go. And I'm also trying to make something that's interesting and fun to look at here in the game. So that is presently what we're doing. And now I'm fiddling around with the colors apparently. Trying to figure out really, the windows gave me a hard time, guys. And it's just one of those things that you just kind of do what you gotta do. But yeah, here I am. I'm trying to put on a roof, and I figured, oh crap, everything's raised up too high because it, the grid that I started building on, I realized it a little bit too late. The grid was off. So I'm coming through here, I'm fiddling with everything, trying to make it right. It's one of those things I should have noticed beforehand, but I didn't. So, it is what it is. But I'm gonna start decorating this stuff out. What I'm looking for here is I'm looking for that piece, something to use for like the speaker when you're talking to somebody inside of a ticket booth, and I could not for the life of me remember what I had used. So we're gonna see it come up here. I actually end up bringing in one of my other blueprints, which we're gonna see here. So there we go. I figure out, okay, I know what it is. It's a modern base for an umbrella. So, uh, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. And so once I figured that out, I'm like, okay, I can do better. And so this is where I switched down to the 1 meter high little front. I'm putting in the glass. There's a little cross fighting, which I end up covering up, and we'll see that a little bit later on. But here I'm like, well, what's going on there? Why is that happening? And again, I'm trying to fiddle with the roofs, and it's all because I messed up on the original grid. And it's something that started from the very beginning, and I just kind of screwed up. But one of the things that I did do was I did separate this from the car park, so now it's 2 blueprints. I just haven't made them blueprints and put them on Steam yet. Mainly because for the ticket booth, I still have some detail work to do, which I'm going to do off camera. Excuse me. Which I'm going to do off camera. But here, what I'm doing is I'm starting the I want to build a shelf. Is what I'm doing here. Kind of like what you would see at a ticket booth, someplace to set down your drink, set down your wallet, purse, whatever, while you're conducting the transaction with the employee. So that's what I'm building here. Again, this is realistic, but I'm not going super realistic. I'm not going ham with realism. And the main reason why I'm not going crazy with realism is to make things super realistic in this game requires a lot of pieces. And when you build a bigger zoo, those pieces really start to screw with people's graphics. And I wanted to make this zoo to where it might be a little graphics intensive for some people, but pretty much everybody should be able to run it on their own computers without any problems. Same thing with the blueprints. I want my blueprints to be user friendly for people to download and use in their own park if they see fit. So I'm keeping the detailing down. If people want to screw with it, put more details into these builds, then they're more than welcome to. But I am putting some detail in just to make it attractive enough to actually go, hey, this looks nice. Again, not super realistic, but to where it looks good. I decided I didn't want a repetitive ticket booth, so I changed out the colors. And here you can see me, I figured out that my shelving was not parallel to the ground. Again, because of the grid that I used, and the ground isn't even. So I went through and I changed that out. As you can see, I got the little slot to exchange money and tickets. I got our speaker in place, and now I'm going to start trimming these little booths out. And that's just, again, you'll hear it from everybody who builds on YouTube, is you really need to add trim to your buildings. That way they're not boring peak wares. And so that's what I'm doing, and it goes a long ways when you do that. It really makes your builds pop out when you add trim. And if you want proof, just look around your own home. Your house isn't just a square block. It's not just a rectangular block. It's got stuff jutting out from it. It's got baseboards. Maybe you have ceiling boards. You know, just make it look like it's normal, I guess. Without trim, buildings just don't look right. But that is what it is. You can call it a tip, trick, whatever you want. And here I'm adding in the pathing. And as you can see, I'm kind of struggling here. I'm like, what? Why is it raised up? What's going on here? And so I worked around that. I had that little piece of ground that just it was raised a little too much, so the game wanted to put in railing. And I was like, nah, we're not playing that. So here I'm trying to figure out inside the actual ticket booth, our employees need a way to get inside. So I figured, alright, well, I'll put on these doors, and that way, again, it's realistic, but we're not going super crazy with the realism. So I add these doors to all three booths right there in the back, a place for our employees to easily get to. And obviously, if it was super realistic, I would add like a lock, or I might even add a sign saying staff only. And that's something I still may do. I may put in signs that say staff only, or I may try to build like a little card reader next to the doors. Just, again, for that little bit of realism without going too overboard. And here, instead of just having blank wooden walls, I was going to add a little bit of decoration on the back, just so the guests can see something and go, oh, that's nice, you know. And I can't make up my mind what I want to do here. And excuse me one moment, I have to clear my throat. I do apologize for that. But yeah, so you can see I tried different things, trying to see what fits without being too gaudy, I guess. I don't know what I was trying to say there. But anyways, I ended up going with these shields. I put in these sculptures, and then I used these rugs to make each ticket booth its own individual ticket booth. I like it. But anyways, we're gonna see here. I'm gonna jump cut because I was struggling with what I was gonna do with the roof, and I spent hours just staring at the screen. So, any moment here, you're gonna see a jump cut to the roof. There we go. Now, in the next video, guys, we're gonna do a slower walkthrough of the ticket booth after I trim it all out off camera, just so you can get a better look at it. And yeah, but it is what it is. I'm really happy with the way it's come out so far. It's really meshing with the idea I had for the entrance of the zoo. There's still more to do just on the entrance, and we're going to get there. But as always, guys, I'm going to leave it here for now. So thank you so much for watching, and be safe, be cool, have fun. We'll catch you next time.